The biggest challenge to this group of players, given where they are at this minute in time in terms of their club career, is getting regular game time with their clubs, and then obviously, performing at a high level, which I think a lot of the younger players are starting to do that. You rightly touch on Ross, came on and scored for Rangers in the European game. His minutes have been restricted somewhat, mainly off the bench, so I'm sure he would like to be starting more games than he has. Ethan's, I think, really established himself at Orient. We would like to see him playing at a higher level, but at this minute in time he's performing very well in League One. And all these sort of young players, it's a combination of getting regular game time with their clubs, but obviously, raising the level consistently that they can play their club football at. So, but it's always nice when players are scoring goals. I think coming into the international situation, we're not blessed with, someone that's naturally a goal scorer in the squad at this minute in time. Josh is our highest goal scorer based on his past history, and I think if we can get goals and share goals around the team, it can only help us. It's always difficult, particularly away from home, even for the fans. And the fans were terrific in Bulgaria, which was obviously a difficult night for them. But still, away from home and in these types of places, the atmosphere can be pretty hostile. Obviously, the game being behind closed doors, we'll not have to deal with that, but we'll have no support ourselves in the ground. So it'll be, I suppose, a bit of a COVID feel to it. The game will feel very similar to a lot of the games that were played during COVID. I wasn't in charge during the COVID period, obviously, in international football, but I did handle it in club football, so I know what that's like. So maybe it's probably something that the players. It's not that long ago they've experienced this, but it will be a little bit unusual. Neutral venue, no fans, and but obviously we have to maintain our focus in terms of the game and the significance of the game. Well, look, Jamie's been in with us since March. Obviously had a great start to his international career with a goal away in Romania after 5 or 6 minutes, and it was unfortunate. He actually developed a blood clot in his leg and over the summer, so he wasn't able to play in September, or else he would have been in the squad. So he's back now playing for Stevenage. I think he's played 3 or 4 games, and mainly that was just because of the medication that he was on. He wasn't allowed any contact. So I think I watched him last week against Wigan, him and Dale Taylor. So I still think he's getting up to speed a little bit, but he's obviously had a few games since then as well. So I think what Jamie's shown, he's competition for places up front. He's more experienced in terms of club football than a lot of the lads that we have in the squad, although he's obviously relatively new to international football. And Pearce, with Connor's injury, Connor Hazard, unfortunately ankle injury, will rule Connor out till probably like November, December time. And Pearce is next in line. He's played very well for the 21s. He had a great performance in the 0-0 draw that they got with England in Ballymena on the last international window. He's currently the number 2 at Sheffield Wednesday, and he's played in the cup games for them. So he's a very young goalkeeper still, obviously, just in Gareth's under 19s for the summer, but I think he's a young goalkeeper with huge potential, so it's good to have him in. The key for this group is to develop the experience of playing double headers. It's very different, international football, where you have to play in a short space of time, and you maybe have to play, as we do in this window, away from home and then come back home, and to get 2 performances at the right level. I felt in the first half in the game in Bulgaria, it was challenging for us. They were a very physical team and a much more experienced team than us, and I felt for the first 20-25 minutes we struggled with that a little bit, but we got to grips with it, and it was unfortunate, the nature of the goal we lose. We're disappointed with that. It's an individual error that leads to their goal, and I feel that those are experiences that the players will have to go through and understand that these are games that you have to try and take something from that game. We were very disappointed to lose the game, and again, I just feel that we have to get into the mindset of, if we go behind, how do we get back into the game as well. We've been good when we've gone ahead in games and we've been able to defend the lead. We still haven't really had too many experiences where we've been able to come from behind as well. So those are all things that I think this team has to develop. It's still very young in the development of this squad, but the experience of Plovdiv and that type of game can only help us obviously as we go into the likes of Belarus away, and obviously we'll have Luxembourg away as well. But again, dealing with that double header, because in underage international football you don't deal with that as much. Under 21 you do, but at 17s and 19s it's mini tournaments, and some of our lads are bypassing 21s. If you look at Callum Marshall, you look at Brodie Spencer particularly, they've not played or played minimal under 21 international football, so they're coming in and we're asking them obviously to perform at the deep end.